A World War II veteran and Nevada state lawmaker spent his life serving his country and our community. But his family says his last days were filled with excruciating pain due to an incident at the Nevada State Veterans Home. Contact 13 Chief Investigator Darcy Spears is here with the story she's been following for 5 months. Darcy.
Ricky, the family first contacted us in mid-July. After grieving and gathering information about what happened to their loved one, they're just now ready to talk about their loss. A warning, some of you may find the photos in this story disturbing.
I'm sorry. My grandfather was instrumental in teaching me that I could be whatever I wanted to be.
Craig Robinson's close bond with his grandfather Bob made the 89-year-old's last days almost too much to bear.
It was probably, again, the worst experience I've ever had in my life.
During World War II, Bob Robinson survived being buried alive for 3 hours in an avalanche, but he wouldn't survive the most painful battle of his life, which began last summer at the Nevada State Veterans Home in Boulder City.
Bob arrived here in March, suffering from Alzheimer's, and his back was going out due to an old war injury. On July 15th, Bob's wife, Betty, got a call from the Veterans Home.
He had been on the patio enjoying the sunshine, and there was a little episode where he just got too warm.
That so-called little episode landed Bob in the hospital, where the family says he was treated for these second-degree burns on his shoulders, back, and right thigh. The family believes no one on staff knew Bob was stuck outside in the sun.
It just got so hot that he tried to find his way back in, and in doing so, it tipped over the wheelchair.
Betty thinks contact with the cement caused the burns, but surprisingly, she says staff at the home told her Bob was only out there for maybe 15 minutes.
The people at the hospital said there's no way you can get burns like that in 15 minutes.
Within 3 weeks, just shy of his 90th birthday, Bob passed away. Cause of death? Sepsis, cellulitis, cutaneous burns, and prolonged environmental heat exposure. The family says it should have been prevented.
They knew he had a problem with, he would just get up and wander around.
In August, the state investigated Bob's case. Contact 13 obtained this report, which shows staff knew they needed to watch Bob closely. The state substantiated the allegation regarding lack of protective supervision, saying staff failed to prevent Bob from being overexposed to the sun and heat.
And I'll never forgive them for that.
The Nevada Department of Veterans Services wouldn't go on camera, but sent a statement which says, in part, situations like this, no matter how isolated, require and have received our immediate and full attention. We have taken immediate action. Because this matter is under investigation, we cannot provide any further information at this time. The family is preparing to file a lawsuit.
I would like those that were responsible to be held accountable.
Bob's case is not the only problem the state has documented at the Nevada Veterans Home. Contact 13 will have details on what else the state says has gone wrong there and what one lawmaker wants to see changed to improve care. Our story continues tomorrow at 6. Ricky and Steve.
Thank you, Darcy. And folks, you can find the full statement from the Department of Veterans Services as well as the full report from the state on our website. Log on to KTNB.com and click on Darcy's story.
The tragic death of a World War II veteran and former state lawmaker stemmed from an incident last summer at a state-run home for veterans.
Now, as Contact 13 Chief Investigator Darcy Spears explains, the family wants answers and lawmakers want change, but a warning for our viewers, you might find some of these photos disturbing.
I believe if you run a facility and you have somebody die as a result of neglect, you should be held accountable.
Dr. Bob Robinson passed away on July 31st, 2013. The 89-year-old didn't die of natural causes.
The skin was just coming off in sheets.
Betty Robinson watched her husband deteriorate and die from infections, cutaneous burns, and prolonged environmental heat exposure. His death came less than 3 weeks after
He had second-degree burns on his legs.
he sustained the burns on July 15th at the Nevada State Veterans Home in Boulder City. These pictures were taken by the family after he was transferred to the hospital. State investigators determined Veterans Home staff left Bob outside unmonitored for an extended period of time in extreme heat.
It was an outdoor patio like this one where Bob was exposed. We asked the state to let us get video on the inside, but they refused, citing patient privacy.
The state investigation found the efforts of Veterans Home staff were inadequate in providing protective supervision to prevent Bob from being overexposed to the sun and heat.
But certainly this is an unacceptable, horrendous example of bad treatment.
Though the State Veterans Services Department says they took immediate action, Congresswoman Dina Titus wants more.
We're going to look into what we can do at the federal level to see how to provide greater federal oversight for all the state contracted nursing homes.
Contact 13 obtained state reports of 9 citations involving other residents at the Nevada State Veterans Home throughout 2013. Among those, in February, the facility failed to take appropriate measures to prevent instances of abuse by a visitor. In March, the home failed to complete a neurological assessment after a fall, and in May, the state found the facility failed to ensure a patient's doctor and family were notified of a fall.
But I can tell you that circumstances like this at a veteran's home are unacceptable.
As a result of Bob's case and others, in late August, Medicare slapped the facility with $20,000 in fines and threatened termination from the Medicare program. A federal spokesperson tells us changes were made and the home is no longer in danger of losing its certification. But that's not good enough for the Robinson family. They're preparing to file a lawsuit.
It's just completely not right. And the lack of empathy or anything to the family from the facility, it was just a bad experience.
Contact 13 has learned the Nevada Attorney General's office is investigating Bob's case to see whether any criminal charges may be warranted. We'll be following it and updating the story as soon as information becomes available. Darcy Spears, Channel 13, Action News.